Straight Talk with Katie and Lindsey.
Hi, my name is Katie Hutchinson, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm also a certified mediator. And happy Monday, if you want to call it a happy Monday.
Or very sad Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Lindsey Kearns. I'm the mama behind MalibuMamaLoves.com, and I'm also a certified conscious trauma-informed life coach.
Mm-hmm.
Today, my heart is broken, you guys. On Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022, our Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, removing federal rights for abortion for women. I'm sure you've heard of this. Everyone is talking about it because the Supreme Court has now decided that women's rights are no longer constitutional rights. We actually have less rights than a gun does now.
Yep. In 1973, abortion was legalized. However, underground abortions have been going on for decades. Mm-hmm. But these abortions could be very dangerous, killing the mother or harming her future fertility. I'll tell you that my aunt had an abortion before 1973, and then she was never able to have a baby. She had to adopt.
And where did she have to go to get the abortion?
She had to go underground. She had to go to Mexico, actually. And my grandparents rushed her there.
In fact, in the late 60s, a group called the Janes, they're actually called the Jane Collective if you want to look it up, but I think the nickname was the Janes, was created an underground safe abortion clinic for women in Chicago. And people would hear about this from all over and travel to Chicago to get a safe abortion until the mid-70s when they legalized abortion
in 1973. Yeah. So the case was brought by Jane Roe, is what she went by, who in 1969 became pregnant with her third child, and she was poor. She didn't want to have this child, her and her husband. I think she was married. Yeah. Her real name was McCorvey, and she wanted an abortion, but she lived in Texas, where abortion was illegal, except when necessary to save a mother's life, which is actually better than what's happening now. Her attorneys filed a lawsuit in U.S. federal court against her local district attorney, saying that Texas's abortion laws were unconstitutional. A 3-judge panel of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas ruled in her favor and declared the relevant Texas abortion statutes unconstitutional. The parties appealed this ruling to the Supreme Court, all the way up to the Supreme Court of the United States, and Roe won. Yay, Roe!
Well, and I just do want to give a shout out. There were several women before her. Yeah. There were several cases before her that Roe v. Wade actually, looked upon and utilized. So
that led up to this.
Thank you for, Roe v. Wade for getting it out there. But there was a lot behind that.
Yeah.
And yet, here we are, 49 years later, overturning this landmark case, removing women's rights, and taking our progress backwards, all with a quick bang of a gavel. Done.
Yep.
Now we have no control over our bodies. We have no longer a constitutional right to make our own choice for our bodies.
Lobbyists have been trying for 50 years to overturn Roe versus Wade, and they've finally gotten their way.
Even President Biden called it a sad day for America. I'm scared for what's next, you guys. Our wages, women's wages, are they going back down? Gay rights, homosexual marriages.
Contraception they're talking about getting rid of. That would be lovely. So a June poll found that 87% of Americans support abortion when the woman's life is in danger. 84% support exceptions in the case of rape or incest. And 74% support abortion if the child would be born with a life-threatening illness.
So the reality is 16% of Americans thinks it's okay to make a woman have a baby when she's been raped or molested by a family member or there's some sort of terminal illness for mother or child.
Sick.
How is this okay?
It's not.
That number is way too high, even at 16%. We've moved backwards, not even by 50 years, but hundreds of years.
Doctors are stuck in a quandary between wanting to help their patients and not wanting to lose their license and go to jail, because that's what will happen.
Yeah.
Some states are saying that they're going to prosecute people that go to other states for abortions. They're also saying they're going to prosecute people that aid people that want an abortion. Yeah. Some states are going to go after individuals who help pregnant mothers
Yeah.
get the abortions, just like I said. Some mothers will go to jail. Some doctors will go to jail. Some women, many women, will go underground because they can't afford it. They can't afford to travel to California. Of course, we're trying to do something about that. And so then they're going to get a botched up surgery, potentially, and become infertile.
Yeah.
The whole thing is insane to me.
It's awful. But, we already have California.
Yep.
Will never ban abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And our governor currently is working on a bill that will allow women who are in situations to travel to California for free and have a safe abortion.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will get passed soon and we'll be able to help people.
Right. I know yesterday I donated only $25. I wish I could do more, but I donated $24 to Newsom's campaign to help, abortion. So what do these new abortion laws really mean?
Basically, abortions are going to be left up to state, and even in some states, they leave it up to the actual county within the state. So Oklahoma has already enforced this no abortion law after 6 weeks, which is insane. This does not exclude women that are sick or raped or even pregnant due to incest. Texas appears to be following in suit, and the news says that another 13 states are probably going to be following pretty quickly.
Actually,
6 weeks is not enough time.
No, actually, it's more than 13 states. I just didn't have the time to add it all up. Part of the issue is that women do not generally know that they're pregnant before 6 weeks. I can tell you.
That's only one skipped period. So and sometimes you don't even miss that first period during the pregnancy.
Sometimes that just happens. I know that I've had 3 children, and with all 3 children, I did not know that I was pregnant before 6 weeks. You didn't?
No,
neither did I.
My son, I didn't find out until I was almost 3 months pregnant.
Yep.
And the same with my daughter, because I became so sick when I got pregnant with her, I actually lost a ton of weight. So, I was not thinking I was pregnant. You know what I mean?
You lucky dog. I gained 60 pounds with each one. Okay, so besides for the 6-week timeline, pregnant mothers have to be seen by a doctor. Then they have to do all this paperwork. They have to do all this. Yes, they have to do all this work, which takes another week or 2.
It's embarrassing. It causes shame. It causes
stigma.
Guilt. It's not even like they can just go in and have it done.
Right.
There's a lot behind that. These lobbyists don't take any of this into account.
People are picketing outside. And so it's very, very hard to get this abortion in this allotted time. I can tell you right now that in Oklahoma and in Texas, people are just, they're inundated. The abortion clinics. Inundated. They can't get them in fast enough before the laws.
Polls are showing that Americans are consistently split between identifying pro-choice or pro-life. A clear majority supports keeping the procedure legal, though that support drops quickly depending on the circumstances, meaning like age, baby. And I have to say, I do agree on some level, it should not be used as a form of conception. You should be allowed to have 1 or 2.
Conception or abortion?
Abortion, sorry. We're both wrong.
Birth control.
But, it should be monitored, of course.
And
but in these situations, it should be an easy, okay, you're in this situation, this poor young girl, old girl, whatever the age may be. It is scary. You are filled with emotions and hormones. And then to add all this on top of that.
Did you know that the average age of people having sex nowadays is 13 years old?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Okay, so that's totally understandable what you said. A January CNN poll found a 59% American majority want their state to have laws that are more permissive than restrictive on abortion, while only 20% want their states to ban abortion completely. What does this say for same-sex marriage and transgender laws? I'm personally terrified for the LGBTQA plus community. What do you think?
I'm terrified for all of us, Katie. The restrictions, now that they've got this, right?
There's going to be
so much more.
Yep.
Legalization of medications. There's going to be, it's just going to be a domino effect, I'm afraid.
I mean, it's just so disturbing to say the least. I'm so disturbed. 39% of Republicans believe abortion should be legal in all or most cases versus 89% of Democrats. Why are we so split? Why don't we come together as a society as a whole? We're split on gun laws. We're split on abortion. We're split on gay rights. Don't we have bigger fish to fry? We're possibly looking at a World War III. I mean, don't we have more things to focus on?
Absolutely. And the thing is, our country was founded on being a melting pot,
Mm-hmm.
not just being one thing, but all of us being able to live together and respect each other's choices.
In harmony.
Yet the government has grown, or whomever has grown, to where they're stopping that.
Yep.
They're not allowing our choices. People aren't seeing that. Credit is
Mhm.
doing it. The financial market does it to us without even realizing.
Yep.
Right?
Mhm.
People aren't opening, or they need to start opening their eyes, but they haven't been.
No, I agree. I do believe that we are the greatest country in the world. Of course, I'm a little biased because I'm American. And I've lived in California forever. My family's from California, tried and true. We've been here for like 300 years. But to me, right now, France, England, Portugal, etc., are appearing to be much more progressive.
Far more progressive.
We split from England because of their puritanical ways. And now I think that we are more puritanical than they are. I'm moving to Holland.
Right.
What about you?
We're headed in that direction for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do if contraception is outlawed next? And especially with the Great Reset going on right now, like, what is everybody? this world is not making sense.
No, and we have, just global warming, etc. If contraception is outlawed, I don't even know what to say except yuck, disgusting. I don't know. Here's the deal. We already have enough children that are abused, murdered, tortured, and unwanted, most of the time by their own family members or in foster care. I see this all the time in my practice. Not murder, but neglect and child abuse.
And I actually, on some level, I think it's responsible of a young adult or an adult saying, hey, I'm not able to take care of this baby.
I am not ready.
I'm not ready. I can't do it. I don't have the finances. I don't have this. And to make that responsible choice. We are already overpopulated.
Yes.
This is a thing. It's happening.
It's real.
Droughts are happening everywhere.
Yep.
Especially here in Southern California. We can only water our lawns now once a week.
15 minutes. It's not
And
looking
what are
good
we
for our
limited
lawns.
to? 55 gallons per person.
55 gallons per person a day, which
That's
is one
scary.
bathtub. It's
We
one
can laugh,
bathtub.
but that's scary. This
It's
is the
not
world
ready
we're living in. There's famines everywhere right now. People aren't able to eat.
Yep.
And yet here we're saying you have to have a baby. If that baby was conceived by incest or rape or before you were ready, you have to have that baby.
I know.
How is that possible in 2022, people?
Yep. Do we really want more children that are unwanted? That's the part that makes me so sad, is that anti-abortionists just want the baby to be born, but they don't think about the after effects.
No, they don't. Let's hit you guys with some facts. Katie, how many people a year or how many kids, babies a year, are put into foster care?
250,000 just in the United States
in the U.S.
alone.
Okay. Of those 250,000 children, but of all the children in foster care each year, how many of them are abused?
About 1 million.
I can't even imagine how many try to escape. They're not getting access to clean clothes, clean food.
No.
They're not getting access to a lot of things.
Neglect.
But we can't have abortion anymore. We need to make those numbers grow, right?
Right. And so is the state taking care of them financially? Maybe a little bit, but not enough to live.
But 9 times out of 10, well, I'll say 5 times out of 10, the money the state is giving doesn't even go to
No,
those
I'd
kids.
say 9 out of 10. And how do you combat this emotional piece of parents, dads, or moms that just don't want this baby? How do you go to college or have a career or finish high school with a baby straddled to your back? I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's really, really hard.
And the flip side of that is, what is the effect of that on the child, right? We're going to have children being grown up, raised as a burden. They're going to feel that. They internalize that. You want to talk about childhood trauma.
Yep. You know what? I actually want to tell a story from my family. It's a little bit sad, but it's true. My grandma got pregnant when she was a teenager. My grandparents were teenagers, and my grandfather was not happy. I'll tell you that. He was a very brilliant man. He went to UC Berkeley and UCLA and had an engineering degree. And he was still in school. Actually, he was in the Navy. At that time, you pretty much had to marry the person that you were with if they got pregnant or it was really scandalous.
Yep.
As a result, this was my mother that was born. And as a result, they then had 3 children total. But as a result, my mother was very unwanted by her father. It's not that I don't love my grandpa, but she was very, very unwanted, and she was treated as a burden. She was blamed.
Probably because they didn't know how to be parents yet. they hadn't even matured themselves.
No, they were teenagers. My grandma did a good job, and my grandparents helped a ton.
Is this why your mom made you eat carob and liver chips?
Yes, this
Carob
is
and
it.
liver and carob chips.
But it messes you up for life. It really does, because she didn't get that love from her dad. Then it messed her up with men.
This is what the lobbyists are trying to enforce upon us, and now we're going to have a whole generation of these types of kids.
Up. Yep, exactly.
Right? I see women getting pregnant accidentally as being a serious emotional predicament for our future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like when I think it was Reagan, he shut down most of the psychiatric wards, the mental institutions
in the 80s. Mm-hmm.
And look at what happened to the homeless population. And
Double,
today,
triple,
the majority,
quadruple.
the majority of homeless people are mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to do this. I mean, oh my goodness.
And people say that they're drug addicts. Well, do you blame them? They're living on the street, right?
It's scary.
Yes.
It's very scary.
Yes. So I can tell you that I have had a few friends that have had abortions in their late teens and their early 20s. And not one of them has ever not that they didn't feel badly, but questioned their decision. I'm not saying that there aren't.
It was the right decision.
Yeah, it was the right decision for them. I'm not saying that there aren't some people that do question their decision.
On some level, I think it's not
life.
regretting not having the baby. It's regretting the entire situation happening.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
that is a really hard thing to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's important to identify, because some people will sit there and go, I didn't have the baby. You're not mourning that. You're mourning that the whole thing even happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you did the right thing, and it was a hard situation, and you came out stronger in the end. Now, I'm not talking about the people who have had 5, 10, 15 abortions.
No, that's a different situation.
Stop it. That's
but
not
if
right.
we stop contraception, how are we, when we have 13-year-olds as the average age having sex, and we stop contraception, that's outlawed, I feel like we're moving to Saudi Arabia.
I don't know, but it's scary. So you guys, we want to hear your stories. Get in on this conversation. We're going to keep talking about it over the next couple of weeks here and there. Mm-hmm. So share some comments, click like on this so we can let people know.
And I want to say,
together.
I agree. I want to say one more thing. You're going to see a lot more self-harm. You're going to see a lot more suicide. You're going to see a lot more women that are dying because of going underground.
Yep.
People can't afford to take off work or travel across state lines.
Yeah.
So this
and especially you mentioned that some of the states are looking at they'll persecute you.
Yes, they will prosecute you
if you go across
state lines.
Scary.
It is. And you know what? I saw this sign today, and I have to say I thought it was pretty funny. It was women, and they were holding up a sign that said, "No sex until abortion is legalized again." Personally, I think that's kind of a nice idea.
Work.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, you guys. We hope you have a great day, and we will see you on Wednesday, Hump Day. And like I said, get in on this